gonna die. Going too fast. I'm taking 3.
I'm going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, and today, before we get into today's video, I wanted to show you something took place here in my Fubuki. I haven't been able to show an actual Fubuki video because I've been struggling with it, still getting used to it. But I wanted to play this. I thought it was pretty funny. So without further ado here, I'm actually going to turn on the sound so you guys can hear my original reaction. 15-kilometer torps on whatchamacall ocean. It's just amazing. I just got 2 hits on an Iowa. I wasn't even aiming for him, I was aiming for some Nagato.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Oh my god!
Torpedoes to start.
What? What the? Jesus, Ryan. Jesus Murphy. That was embarrassing. In case you're wondering, Ryan is my roommate, so that's who I was talking to there. He was in another room, so I was just yelling back to him. But anyway, to continue along, today's video, I am on North. I'm in my Miyoko, and I'm with Bezzy, and he's in his Ranger. Now, you'll probably notice that there have been a few Miyoko videos in the last few days. The reason for this is with the upcoming changes to the Miyoko's rate of fire in the new coming patch here, I wanted to play this ship, the Miyoko, and my Kaze as much as possible, just to remember how glorious they once were, I suppose. So you can see I'm checking out the team distribution here. We only have the 1 carrier, Bezzy, and they've got 2 carriers, so that wasn't too great. But you'll see that the carriers there do end up meeting their maker eventually. So my plan in this map, this I think was the last game of the night that I was playing that evening. Fairly tired, and you know, I just wanted to have fun in my last battle. So I thought, yeah, let's do the Miyoko, and I'm going to play it really aggressively. So you can see that right here. The way the team is spread out, the majority of the team is heading off to the B, C, and D caps, whereas I'm the only ship that's actually going to be going over here to the A cap. Now, Bezzy takes a look at this, sees this, and you know, says, oh, he's got his planes on his way to help me out, so that was great. But I let Bezzy know I'm not sticking around here in A. I have no intention of capping this point. I merely want to take a few shots off at any ships I might see, and more importantly, do a little bit of scouting here just to see where the enemy team is going to be focused. I figured they'd be focused on this A point. Most likely A and B is what I figured. So you can see I'm making my turn out of the A point now. I never even went into it, never even started capping it. There was no point. If I would have kept going, oh, you guys would have never seen this replay because I would have died like 2 minutes into the battle. So I turned back around, but we did do some scouting. We can see that there are some ships that are on their way to A, and we've got some enemy cruisers here in front of me now that I want to start putting shots into it. I've got my armor piercing loaded. You can see the planes in the sky. They are scouting me out, so the enemy knows exactly where I am and what I'm doing, but whatever. I've got this Furutaka here in front of me, and we're going to start putting shots into this guy right away. Furutaka, it's debatable, you know, whether or not the ship is good or bad. It really depends on the player. I know that there are going to be some changes to the Furutaka in the upcoming patch. Frankly, when I had my Furutaka, I free XP'd my way to the Oba as soon as possible, so I can't really talk about the Furutaka. But another Furutaka did pop up. You can see I did put some shots into him there. Missed all those shots, but whatever. You know, he's not really a threat to me. Slow rate of fire, so I'm not concerned about it. He's far enough that I feel I can dodge any incoming shots that may take place, and I keep putting shots into him myself. So I got a nice little shot on that Furutaka there. That's not too bad. But we're coming into the B point now. In the B point, we've got this destroyer, and we have the same Furutaka that I was shooting at originally. So we got to try and do something about these two guys, and hopefully take this B point. So that was a nice salvo right into the Furutaka with 2 citadel hits. Not too bad at all, and you can see I did over half his health and damage. The Furutaka, and I've talked to some people actually on my channel about this in some of the comments in my signal flag video about how having the detonation flag on your Japanese cruisers is really, really nice to do, because your Japanese cruisers really don't have a whole lot of armor, especially at that tier 5 that the Furutaka is at. So it's really easy to get citadels and magazine detonations. So something to consider anyway if you are in your Furutaka. That Furutaka grounded himself, which was a huge mistake. I put a salvo in and got him. Got another citadel shot on him, finished him off, and there's my first kill. Not too bad at all. I've switched over to high explosive so I can start putting shots into this destroyer. You can see I am keeping my distance from the destroyer. It's an American destroyer, and I know that his torpedo range is probably about 5.5 kilometers, might be a little more. But as long as I stay relatively far away from him, I don't have to worry about any incoming torpedoes. Yeah, that's a Nicholas there, so yeah, 5.5 kilometers is the range on it. Not concerned. Put my high explosive shots into him, do some nice damage there. I destroyed his propellers, that's his engine. I'm pretty sure he repaired it though, so my next salvo that goes in, any damage I do in these upcoming salvos, he won't be able to repair. So that's nice as well. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get this kill. So we keep putting shots into him. I've turned my boat around, so I'm heading right into the B point now. Well, more or less into the B point anyway. Yeah, there we go, turning around. And I killed the Nicholas, so that was awesome as well. Not too bad. I'm up to 2 kills now. Remember, I'm being aggressive here. I'm not sitting back and seeing what the team is doing. I don't want to say solo warrior because it's an actual award in the game and I'm not going to get it in this battle. But essentially that's what I'm trying for here. I figure it's going to be fun to try. Last battle of the night, right? So what do I have to lose? Let's go for it. So we got 2 kills. I'm capping the B point now as we speak. And you can see in terms of overall points, our team is ahead, but this isn't going to last very long. It's actually going to be quite close at the end. So we're going along. I still have some enemy ships here in front of me. So we've got an Omaha, and I believe that that's an Atlanta. So we need to do something about these guys, but I also need to be aware of my ship positioning. You can see I've slowed down. I don't want to go through that channel in front of me. I want to turn and use the island here as cover as much as possible. So that's what I'm trying to do, and doing it successfully as well. So one of my allies took out the Omaha. In fact, I think it was Bezzy and his dive bombers that did all that damage to the Omaha, and then another allied ship just finished them off and got the kill. So that was a good play by Bezzy. Your dive bombers on your aircraft carriers are really effective against light cruisers and destroyers and aircraft carriers, so keep that in mind. So we're rounding the island here, and immediately I've got an Atlanta in front of me. I'm coming under air attack from the dive bomber, so we got to put that fire out. And I did put 1 shot into the Atlanta. Now the Furutaka pops up again. He's on the lowest health, so I'm going to be focused on him first. So I put armor piercing into him, get the kill. That's my 3rd kill. Excellent. I have to deal with this Atlanta now. So the Atlanta is pumping shots into me as the Atlanta does. I was surprised that he was missing so many of these shots. Like, look at this. That's just ridiculous. But whatever. Worked out for me. About half health now, and the Atlanta is just below half health. Because I've slowed down to avoid that island, I was able to dodge those torpedoes, which was very nice. Questionable whether or not the torpedoes even would have hit me, because it looked like they ran out of their range, or they reached their range before they actually hit the island, but worked out well for me. So now he's gone, and now I got it. That's not too bad at all. Unfortunately, Bezzy is dead at this time. The two enemy CBs teamed up on Bezzy there and took him out. Bezzy, though, Bezzy being Bezzy, a really good sport, team player, congratulates the enemy CVs on their kills, because frankly it was a nice play that they did, and why not congratulate them? So we've got the B point, it's the only point we have, and my team is now losing. So we need to sort of pull up our socks here and do something about this. Because I'm playing so aggressively, I guess my bad. I mean, I wasn't necessarily focused on what the team was doing. When I play aggressively like this, I'm really just focused on killing as many enemy ships as I possibly can before I die. So I suppose, you could make the argument that at this point I should be turning around to cap another point to help the team, but I don't actually do it. One of our allies, or rather our allies, are capping the A point, so that's pretty good. You can see I do have this Miyogi off on my starboard side. I have put some shots into him, and I continue to put shots into him. He was, for the most part, at full health, so I wanted to get this guy down as much as possible while being aware of these airstrikes coming in. You can see I've got two torpedo bombers here on me. Now the torpedo bombers that just launched, they were there first, so I turned into them. And these torpedo bombers, the second wave here, somehow my anti-air was able to rattle them a little, and you can see their shot was totally off target, and I was able to dodge both those torpedo runs. So that was a good job on my behalf. When you're facing these sorts of situations, I do find it helpful to turn your ship into the torpedo bombers, presenting as small a target as possible, making it easier for you to dodge. You'll notice I did launch some torpedoes off at the Miyogi because he's now within the torpedo range. I've got these two carriers in front of me, so I'm ignoring the Miyogi at this time. I finished off the first carrier. That's my 4th kill. Not too bad at all. And I'm on fairly low health here, so I'm trying to be a little more careful, a little more cautious, but it doesn't work. The Miyogi gets me. Does anyone remember the torpedoes I launched? So I still got the Miyogi. Not too bad at all, right? I finished the map with 5 kills, 5 citadel hits, I got the torpedo, and most importantly, for me anyway, was the It's But a Flesh Wound flag. As I've talked about in earlier videos, is I use that flag every time I run one of my tier 8s just to help mitigate the cost of repairing it. Something I'd recommend you guys considering as well, because it does really help with making credits. So I'm dead. I mean, I'm going to switch over to one of my allies here. He's in the Cleveland, and you can see he's got 2 battleships to deal with. He's going to focus on this first battleship first, rightly so, because this is the guy that is on the lowest health, and he can really bring this guy down as quick as possible. So he is shooting off his armor, or not his armor piercing, sorry, his high explosive into that battleship to finish him off, and he does finish him off. And I wrote it down here. The player's name was Mob, I believe, M-A-W-B, so I think it's pronounced Mob. We're going to go with Mob anyway. So he does finish off that battleship. Now he's got another battleship here in front of him. It's a New York, so he's going to start pumping shots into him. You can see that while I was on my rampage, I managed to close the gap and between our two teams, and actually put our team in the lead. Not to say that it was all me. I mean, remember, I had those allies there at the A point that were capping, so those guys also made a big contribution to this here as well. Mob is on very low health at this time. He's facing off against the New York. The distances are closing, so the New York should be able to finish off Mob with some nice full broadsides. However, this being before the patch that adjusts the close range dispersion of a battleship shell, it doesn't actually work out that way. Now Mob gets really lucky here. You can see he's very low health indeed, but he gets the final salvo off into the New York and finishes him off. So that was great. Wonderful job by Mob there. And we're going to win this. We're over 900 points now. Sure, the enemy team is capping one of our points, but we're capping another one of their points. So not too bad at all. And yeah, I mean, it really worked out well. Playing aggressively, it can go either way. You're either going to die right away or you're going to make a meaningful impact on the team here. I was lucky enough to make this meaningful impact. I do recommend playing aggressively where possible. I wouldn't say go into the battle with the mindset of being aggressive. I do it all the time, though. I mean, I'm not going to tell you I don't, and I'm sure you guys do it as well. But what I find is when I go into the battle with that mindset of aggressive gameplay, I usually die right away. I'm making mistakes and whatnot. Not using cover properly and all that sort of stuff. But if I go into the battle and I recognize situations where playing aggressively is advantageous to myself and my team, I find those are the battles that I typically can count on doing well in. This battle here is just a fluke. Just a fluke. I went in with the aggressive mindset. You can see I went right over to A all by myself, and then strafed back, took B, and then pushed beyond B. Right. So it was aggressive gameplay. I paid for it with my life, but it worked out well for me. Not all battles are going to be this way. If you're able to take advantage of situations where an aggressive move is advantageous to you or your team, as I mentioned earlier, I find in those types of battles where you're aware of the situation and you're being aggressive when it's called for, those are going to be the battles that you do the best in and that you can count on doing the best in as well. So keep that in mind. I mean, the battle's over here. It wasn't too bad at all for me. Like I said, the 5 kills, the 5 citadels, I mean, countless fires, flooding, and all that other stuff. So it worked out well. Overall, I'm top of the team. I don't have the final figures on damage done because Bezzy wanted to get into another battle, and this was my last battle for the night, so I forgot to take a look at those screens. But anyway, thanks so much for taking the time watching the video today. Hopefully you took away some strategy to use when you want to be aggressive here. And, as always, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.